Now we're moving on to Sunday's big game. RCB buried Mumbai Indians under a mountain of runs.
Yes, I can see a big smile in your face here.
Also, your prediction came true. You did say that RCB will continue to trust Phil Salt, and he came up with the gem of a knock.
Yeah, same thing, Ashwin. What applied to Sanju Samson applied to Phil Salt. Is just that, we spoke about the absolute Jaffa he got from Jofra Archer. Sometimes as a batter, you can't do much about that. And T20 is a high-risk game. So you are going to take chances in the first 6 overs. Sometimes you will connect, sometimes you will get out. Now, where the coach's role comes into place, you want to see what kind of form he is in. He is a quality player. Again, he's been the number one T20 player in the world. Everybody knows what he can do. So I think you have to give them 2-3 opportunities or even more. And it's just a matter of time before they come into form. And I think Phil Salt has been hitting the ball very, very well. Like I said, Wankhede is just a batter's delight with the bounce, and it's just brilliant to bat. You can trust the bounce. One of the few pitches in India where you can really trust the bounce and hit through the line horizontally and vertically. So he played brilliantly. All of them were just too good that day, and Phil Salt's start helped them get that extra 20 runs, which again, I feel would have been very, very crucial in the context of the game. 220, 240, 220, I think Mumbai would have believed a little more that they could, win the game. So that power play score they had with Phil Salt giving a great start really helped them. And especially the way he hit spin. Some of the shots he played on the back foot was many. He's not committing and blindly hitting. So he is evolving. He is getting better. He understands the dynamic of what needs to be done when he plays spin. So overall, this is great news for RCB.
We're seeing an unbelievable transformation with Rajat Patidar. He was going at around 144 strike rate in the previous season. This season he's going at almost 215. It's just attack from ball one. What do you think he has changed? Is it a mindset that you've seen difference, or is it a technical?
I think it's just a mindset, Ashwin. I think the time since he's taken over captaincy as a young kid, taking over big shoes like Virat Kohli, and then being so calm and composed, I think he's really handled the team very well at such a young age. Show that kind of maturity. He is captaining a lot of superstars. It actually, I'm not comparing it all, but actually reminds me of a young MS Dhoni. When he took over a team with like mega superstars, yes, Sachin, Dravid, Lakshman next to him and slip, but still the way, he got the best out of them. And, he was able to, perform well. It's great to see. And Patidar is doing the same thing. He's only gotten better as a batter. I think no spinner can bowl to him. He's such a good player against spin. The range he has the way he reaches out to the ball. He doesn't step out. He doesn't give any indication to the spinner that he's going to attack them. From the crease, he plays front foot, back foot. And he's really playing fast bowling beautifully now. Though the range of shots he has is great. So, this is, I think RCB, one of the best decisions they ever made was making him the captain. And like I said, some people, when they start leading the side, it really, gets the best out of them. And love his temperament, Ashwin. Love his temperament, the way he handles all these guys. And like you said, from ball one, and there is method to what he's doing. He's just not coming and blindly hitting. He's very still in the crease. He adjusts beautifully in the last minute. So sometimes you talk about energy. RCB's energy is just, everybody just want to go and, just maybe get 260 every game. And sometimes you will be 90 for 6, like what happens against RR, but they're willing to take the risk and they will continue playing. And I think it's going to be very tough for other teams the way they are playing.
RCB batter Tim David, bit of a comical situation there. He's been fined for breaching the IPL code of conduct for disobeying the umpire's orders. What did you make of it? It's kind of comical, but at the same time not something you want to see on the cricket field.
I think sometimes when you change the ball, the batters don't like it, the bowlers don't like it. You're not going to get what you want. So I just felt more than Tim David's reaction, which obviously could have been better, holding the game for so long, especially in a T20 game, was totally unnecessary because it spoils the rhythm of the game and you don't want that to happen. And sometimes umpires are the people who are in complete control, and you can ask them, you can argue, I won't use the word argue. You can ask them, okay, this is what, but beyond a point, I think he just overdid it there. He wasn't disrespectful or he wasn't, being aggressive. That didn't happen at all. But just that in the future, you don't want people to hold up the game for too long. And, sometimes you just have to take the umpire's word and move on. And I don't think it's going to be, in Test cricket, yes, the ball can make a big issue, can, create a lot of things because it can suddenly start reversing, or, the score is 200, you get a harder ball, it's going to, move more or bounce more. But not in T20 cricket, it's really not going to make that much of a difference. So I think it was totally unwanted, yeah.
Now we're looking ahead to Tuesday's game. Yeah. CSK back in action, this time against KKR. Back-to-back matches at the Chepauk for CSK. So good chance for them to get 2 wins on the trot.
Absolutely. I think they have a great chance. One is because they're coming from a victory, and 2 is KKR have been struggling. KKR has been the most unsettled team in this year's IPL. Their batting is good, but they don't have the kind of firepower. The bowling, as we know, they didn't make Varun play last game. I didn't know whether he was injured or whether just giving him a break, but I think Varun should play in Chepauk. Yeah. He knows the conditions well, and you have to make him in a place like Chepauk. So maybe sometimes one break can do you good, but he has to play. But overall, I think, yes, CSK will back themselves to win. I think they will feel a lot more relief. I think more than the victory, more than anything, is just a relief for them, saying we've we lost 3 in a row, and this has made us, realize our true potential, and we can do much better from here. So I think it's definitely advantage CSK. One is because the way KKR are playing, and 2 is because CSK are finding some rhythm. Sometimes it can help, it's too early to say, sometimes when all your let's say the bad demons happen in the first 3-4 games of a tournament, and then you peak at the right time. So CSK will be hoping that happens. It's happened before. In 2010, I remember we lost 6 in a row, and then we ended up winning the championship. So, that was something they will take a lot of confidence from. So I think they will definitely dominate. Obviously, they're not going to take KKR lightly, but KKR have to really play out of their skins. They need Cameron Green to really fire. They need him to bowl as well, which he did last game. But that's one good sign I can see. And if Varun comes back and is able to really pick 2-3 wickets and put pressure on the CSK batters, then they may have an outside chance, but I don't see CSK losing this game.
Varun Chakravarti's home ground, your home ground as well, Chepauk. What have you made of the conditions? What do you think is a good score on this pitch?
Chepauk at one time, you could say 180 to 200 was a safe score, but I don't think anymore. The pitch is really good, and hats off to the curator. He's really produced a good wicket. There's pace, there's bounce, and the only reprieve for the bowlers is the dimensions are a little bigger. The dew factor has been there. We saw last game Noor was really wiping the ball. Chepauk, when it's very humid, it can get very dewy, and sometimes it can be very hard for the spinners to bowl. But otherwise, I think brilliant. I think all of you have seen the new stadium is fantastic. Looks beautiful. Especially before the World Cup, they relieved the entire stadium. Hats off to them. It just looks, majestic. So it's the pitches is definitely a lot better, no doubt about it. Again, Chepauk, at one point you couldn't trust the bounce. You could use the cutters. You could really mix it up. But now, the ball is sitting up nicely to be hit. So you will see a lot of runs in Chepauk. Yeah.
Super, Vidyuth, we've really enjoyed having you in Bangalore.
Thank you. I
trust that you had a good time in this wonderful city as well.
Yeah, it's been great. Like I said, brought back a lot of wonderful memories for me. And it's obviously Hindu is lovely. You guys have a lovely setup here. You've been kind. You've been very nice. I've loved being here. We'll go back to Chennai and go back to our good friend Vijay, and hope to have a lot more shows and a lot more fun during the IPL. So thank you, Ashwin. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Vidyuth.
Thanks.